Hello everyone, it's Kei'Mani Latigue back to you with another video. This video pertains to the Kei'Mani Latigue story. Before I begin, I would like to send my continued condolences and support to the family and community at this time as you are grieving the loss of your child and community member. According to reports, Darnell Jones Ogletree, who is the father of Kei'Mani Latigue, was officially arraigned in the Lucas County Court, where he pled not guilty to the 15 counts, which include aggravated homicide, SA, kidnapping, aggravated burglary, endangering children, gross abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. The charges that include the 4 counts of aggravated homicide have the death penalty attached for the unaliving of Kei'Mani Latigue. Bond for Darnell Jones Ogletree was revoked and he will be held without bond until further argument from prosecutors and defense attorneys regarding the basis for requests. During the hearing, Judge Golding asked if Jones Ogletree had a history of mental disorders, to which Jones replied that he has suffered from ADD, ADHD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety. Mr. Cullux, who is the attorney for Jones Ogletree, waived a temporary right to a speedy trial until June 27th, when another determination will be made on the progress of the case. Dorothy Latigue, who is Kei'Mani Latigue's grandmother, was designated as the victim's representative for the case in accordance with Marsy's Law. Marsy's Law in Ohio includes the right to be heard, in which victims have the right to be present and heard at court proceedings, right to information, where victims are entitled to reasonable notice of public proceedings and changes in the offender's status, right to input, in which victims can offer input on plea deals and sentence proceedings, right to protection, in which victims have the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity throughout the criminal justice process, right to restitution, in which victims are entitled to full and timely restitution from the offender, the right to refuse interviews, in which victims have the right to refuse defense interviews or depositions unless ordered by the court, and the right to confidentiality, in which victims can object to defense requests for access to their confidential information. There was little attendance from the, the public in the courtroom, but preparations have been made for future hearings in anticipation of increased public interest. The proceedings will be scheduled on Fridays and will be live streamed on TV screens on the first floor of the Lucas County Courthouse. Judge Golding also issued a gag order prohibiting any of the parties of the case to speak publicly about its details. Neither the prosecution or defense objected. In addition, 13 Action News obtained search warrants for Darnell Jones Ogletree. In the search warrants, detectives sought information on phone calls involving Jones Ogletree and his mother, Linda Ogletree. The warrant stated that a detective learned on March 23, 2025, that there was a recording between Jones and his mother related to the investigation. That was the same day officers first filed an abduction charge against Jones Ogletree, and the day prior to Kei'Mani Latigue's body being discovered at a vacant house. Linda Ogletree stated in the recording that she knew some of the details related to the case, but didn't know everything. Detectives wrote in the warrant. She then requested more details from Jones Ogletree, who said he would tell his mother more at a later date. Detectives interviewed Jones Ogletree's mother, Linda Ogletree, over the phone, according to the warrant. Officers stated she denied having any contact with her son, Darnell Jones Ogletree, and stated she didn't know anything about Kei'Mani Latigue's disappearance. Additional information concerning the recording of Jones Ogletree and his mother is not disclosed in the documentation currently available. The warrant sought documentation from Ogletree's phone carrier about records spanning from December 21st, 2024 through March 25th, 2025, the day after Kei'Mani Latigue's body was discovered, and the day officers touched Jones Ogletree during an altercation. It was Jones Ogletree's girlfriend at the time who assisted officers in gathering evidence and later tracking him down when he fled town. As previously reported in new court filings, Jones Ogletree allegedly admitted to officers that he dragged Kei'Mani Latigue to an abandoned house where he allegedly unalived her. Investigators have not detailed a motive in the teen's unaliving, stating they would not release many details about the investigation in an effort to protect the prosecution's case. These are my thoughts. While this baby is no longer here, it is up to prosecutors to get the full story of this case, because I truly believe there is more to this story beyond the defendant and his mother. I feel as if there is more to this story. I feel as if quote unquote Darnell Jones Ogletree was indeed having mental issues, why was he granted access to this child unsupervised? Make that make sense. If someone is not mentally well, why would you allow them unsupervised visit with this minor? So again, the neglect that this baby has gone through, I cannot even imagine that someone whom she loved and respected allegedly had the audacity to being the judge, jury, and ultimately executioner. You are this child's father. Your job is supposed to provide and protect. And there's a reason why you did not have legal custody of this child. There is no mention of Darnell Jones Ogletree for Kei'Mani Latigue. So the question goes back to, why was he granted access unsupervised to this child? It goes back to the grandmothers in this case on both sides. Why would you not tell investigators what you know about this case? This is your granddaughter. You should have told officers from the jump what you knew. But you sat there, acted stupid and confused as if you didn't know what was going on. We have a problem. And why did Kei'Mani's grandmother give Darnell Jones Ogletree access to this child if he was quote unquote having mental issues? Once again, Kei'Mani Latigue's classmates' parents realized something was off. Her teachers realized something was off. The bus driver realized something was off. So there is more to this story. Personnel that should have done their due diligence did not do their follow-ups, did not check in with this child. This child has gone through immense trauma. So of course she will not explain what is occurring at that time. And it is your duty to ensure that she is safe. And now that she's no longer here, we are hearing the horrific events that occurred to this child. I've said this before and I will say it again. When will persons treat our children with the same care and due diligence as others? When is enough for us? Which is why I truly believe that a missing persons case should be treated as a criminal case, because every second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year matters. According to Black and Missing Inc., in 2023, an estimated 224,706 persons of color were reported missing. Of that group, 162,755 persons were under the age of 18. Yet, missing minority children are grossly underreported in the news, which is why we, as the public, must change our attitudes when it comes to missing persons cases. And the information we are getting, we must also be mindful of the misinformation, disinformation, aka lying, as it does affect the ongoing investigation, and it does affect the family members who are waiting for answers of their missing loved ones. We must be mindful, because today it's someone that you don't know. Tomorrow it can be someone that you love and know. It is up to us to change this narrative so that missing persons cases are treated with dignity and with respect. I will leave in the comments and description below for organizations and hotlines as it pertains to missing persons, in addition to child welfare organization. And as always, find our people, protect Black children, known and unknown. Say their names. Say her name, Kei'Mani Latigue. Justice for Kei'Mani Latigue. And as always, please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.